There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people. See if they could become something more.
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marvel Tribe. We are a group of excited and passionate individuals who have come together to share our love of all things Marvel. We're brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.com. I am so honored to be joined by our amazing group of Marvel nerds. Tonight we have Breanna and Mr. Blurred Hulk, and we are joined by Danny, who we've been trying to get on the show forever. And I am Sam. So from the big screen to the small print, feel the pulse in your chest so you know you're alive. One team, one love.
It's the Marvel Tribe.
I always feel so spicy when you do that.
Really? Okay. I'll take that.
Danny, thank you for joining us.
Heck yeah, man. Welcome to the tribe.
I'm glad to be here, guys. I was peer pressured several times, so I carved out some time in my schedule. I'm a very busy man, yeah. So
much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Well, it's our pleasure.
So
you're great at peer pressuring, so it's.
So Danny, can you let everyone know how big of a Marvel fan are you? Like you comic books, the movies, the shows, cartoons. Like what's your level of Marvel?
I've been a Marvel fan, pretty much since I was born, just because way back in the day, my dad had his own collectible comic shop. And since that has closed down, he still had boxes of old comics that I would go through. And then, of course, watching reruns of Spider-Man and the X-Men animated series, going into all the movies, X-Men movies, Spider-Man movies. But in 2008, when Iron Man came out, that just blew me away. It felt like way more than just a comic book movie. That I loved it. I couldn't stop talking about it. And then I remember going to school 1 or 2 days later, and my friends talking about, hey, did you stay after the credits? I'm like, no, what? The credits rolled. The movie ended. What are you talking about? And so I had to go and search it up online. But yeah, ever since then, I've been so into the MCU, even to the movies that weren't part of Marvel yet, like the X-Men movies before they were tied into Fox and Disney bought them. But I've just been enjoying the ride for this whole 10 plus years. It's been awesome.
Right on. Heck
so
yeah.
Out of the Disney Plus shows, which one has been your favorite so far?
Loki. Yeah, definitely Loki. Loki's been, it was a lot of fun to watch. Pulling in all this interdimensional, multiversal Easter eggs. And then at the end, when you get He Who Remains, Kang the Conqueror, it kept you on your toes the whole time. So did WandaVision. I would say every show kept you guessing week to week, but Loki was just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, and next question. Last question I have for you. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Where is the best place to get your Marvel podcast needs?
Right here on the Marvel Tribe. Yeah.
All right.
You heard it here first.
We're going to put that in production and not pay you for that. So thank you.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds
no,
right.
So I only got one more question before we actually do get started. And I want to make this a habit to ask any of our special guests that we have. So, Danny, who would you say is your favorite Marvel character? And doesn't have to be that we've seen on the big screen, just in general or what have you. So who you pick?
No, it just gets so hard. Every time they introduce someone new, maybe someone never heard of, or maybe like Doctor Strange. We hadn't seen him more than a few episodes of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. And then he popped up in other stuff here and there. But when Benedict Cumberbatch plays him on the big screen, I think that was so cool. I never thought about Doctor Strange would be anywhere near my favorite. But so it changes all the time. But I still come back to Iron Man just because that was the one that really brought me into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think Robert Downey played him so spectacularly for 10 years.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That was perfect casting by accident, I have to say, because if you had told me, I mean, I'm an 80s baby, so I know Robert Downey Jr. from the John Hughes film Weird Science. I'm not sure if he was in 16 Candles and stuff, but that Robert Downey Jr. that's steered in my head. If you would have told me like before Iron Man came out, like this is our Tony Stark, I was like, no, there's just no way. But after watching that first movie, I was like, this was the most perfect casting ever. This was on the tier of Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, that you just couldn't get better casting for that. So any other questions for our special guest?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about Hawkeye. So first of all, Happy New Year, everybody. This is our first year back. We
first show back of the year.
first show back of the new year and stuff. And so we kind of closed out, and I do have to apologize. We kind of left you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger with the Hawkeye series and stuff. So instead of going over the episode breakdown, we're just going to give you kind of a hot take of what we thought of the whole series and kind of point out some things that we liked or some things we didn't like or what we're looking forward to seeing that comes from this show in the greater, bigger MCU and stuff. So with that said, anyone want to start or no? Mm-hmm. I'll go. Okay. So I'm gonna say this. I thoroughly enjoyed the series. I really knew since the first trailer that this was going to be kind of a superhero Die Hard type movie, and they did not disappoint. It was absolutely in that theme, which I love. I mean, Hawkeye was kind of our Bruce Willis and stuff throughout the whole episode arc here. I absolutely there. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my actual favorite scene of all the episodes and stuff, and it really was when they solidified that Vincent D'Onofrio got to reprise his role as Kingpin. Mm-hmm. For me, because for those who don't know, Vincent D'Onofrio, who played Kingpin in Daredevil from the Netflix series, and there was always that kind of question, even though that Netflix took back, Disney took back all of those characters from Netflix and stuff, and kind of a couple years ago, we weren't sure if it's going to be canon or not, and even so with Spider-Man, which we'll talk about later, and then Hawkeye, we got some characters and the actors who played those characters from those Netflix shows and stuff here. So seeing Kingpin in this was like, it was really cool. It was like winning the golden ticket in the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. So that was for me, that was the best scene or best thing I took away from the Hawkeye series and stuff. That and yeah, actually that I'll share the stage here.
Danny, what about you?
Yeah, I'd have to say, well, first of all, I really enjoyed Hawkeye overall. I think like a lot of people, it surprised a lot of people in how emotional it was, just how action-packed and how funny and heartfelt it was. I saw a lot of people saying online how they weren't expecting much at all from the series, but then in the end, it was either their number one or close to their top of all the Marvel series that have come out so far on Disney Plus. I'd have to say my favorite part, probably when Yelena is pretty much beating him up, but he comes out with that whistle that Natasha and Yelena had shared as kids, and that kind of like brought her back and kind of made her realize the truth, because again, it was that really heartfelt and emotional scene, and I thought both actors portrayed that really well.
Absolutely. She's turned into a breakout star. Like I can't tell you how many different feeds and forums and stuff. Yelena and the actress who play her, she is just, people just love her. She's easy to, they like her snark. she really is that piece that we really wish we got introduced early on and stuff, because she fits so well. And so I'm glad she got to be not only in the Black Widow, but she got to come on Hawkeye and really have that interchange with Hawkeye. So that was really cool. That was.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the series was seeing the relationship between Kate and Clint. Like, there was just so much chemistry between them, but it was like a love-hate, like pesky little sister, little like older brother type relationship. And seeing him navigate that new relationship and seeing like his family's aftermath of everything that happened with Thanos, like still seeing that post-blip world for everybody, I think that helps put everything in perspective as an MCU fan. But I also really liked the way that the Ronin suit was what was used to bring them together.
Yes.
Just kind of like reminding us where he's been. It was just good storytelling. I really liked it. Breanna?
Yeah, so this was kind of like you said, this was the post-blip world, and this was the post-blip world for one of the original Avengers that we didn't really get to see. The person that, had been going through all of this for years and years, and who lost his best friend, and we didn't get a full closure for Natasha in Endgame. We got to watch Tony Stark's funeral, and then they kind of sat there and talked about her a little bit. And then we really got to see what her family and what her like personal situations were like in her movie that came out way after. And then this really gives us that closure that we get from the people that were there through the entire MCU in the past. So I really liked seeing how they brought her in and giving that closure to different characters. I also loved Yelena. I loved her in the Black Widow movie. I've loved Florence Pugh. She's hilarious. She used to do cooking videos online that are absolutely hilarious. And she just, so when she's got, the mac and cheese, I was like, yep. I was like, not only is that from Black Widow, I was just like, Florence Pugh's cooking videos.
Awesome.
Her chemistry with Kate and just everything is a lot of fun that I hope continues. I think that was kind of like we kind of talked about. This is like the Die Hard movie. This is an action-packed like series, but it had so much emotion in it too, coming from just closure and different things that we saw in the past, and it was really giving these characters like a good depth, and I really like that. So yeah, honestly, this is up there on probably one of my top of the Disney Plus shows. Honestly, I don't even think I hated a single one of them, but this is up there at the top.
Absolutely, I agree. Can I tell you? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, this is where I had some struggles, and this isn't that bad at all. This is my own issues and stuff. I realized watching this and stuff. I know Kate is she's 22. She says that, but yeah. I can't help but to think she is a teenager. Like I'm watching some of these scenes. I'm like, Clint, you're like the replacement dad. Like you can't have a Christmas, like hang out and drink and so, like she totally can. She's legal and everything else. But in my head, it's my own issues and stuff. I was having a hard time. I had to go back and like, yeah, she's 22. She's a grown woman. She's not only she's a badass grown woman, but I kept like putting her in that role, like Clint's the surrogate dad and she's the young daughter.
So I have a question. Your daughters, you wouldn't
I have a
20-year-old
daughter and a 10-year-old stepdaughter.
So okay, let's say your 20-year-old, she's going to be old enough soon. You wouldn't like hang out and drink with her? I'm going to tell you, my mom and we get toasted together.
See, and that's the thing. I think it would be normal once we cross that precipice of her turning 21, and she's going to my sisters. I have 2 that are taking her to Vegas to do it up big. After that, and I can get used to the fact that she's an adult and stuff. I think I would be comfortable. So, like I said, it's my own hang up and stuff. I kept putting her in that childlike place, and I'm like, this is a 22-year-old woman. Like, snap out of it. It's totally fine that they have this kind of relationship and stuff. I mean, they could be not that they were, you know, there's like a uncle and the protege. They could date for all, you know, in our society. That's just the way it is. But I couldn't resign myself around. I kept taking myself out of it. So it's my own weird thing. I don't know if anyone else had that, but it's just me from my own dad experience and stuff. So
I didn't have that experience, but I did have a little bit of a different complaint. And it was that it was too Clint heavy in the action. I wanted more from Kate.
Okay.
I felt like he was kind of pushing her to the background, and I wanted to see her come forward a little bit more.
I agree. I do agree. I do enjoy that they gave him a Christmas tree timeout so she can kick some ass. That was pretty good. And then she took him out of the tree and like let him play and help out and stuff. So I did like that, but I could have used more of just her and stuff because she is definitely a fierce one to.
And I do think we'll get that.
Oh yeah,
like as it unfurls a little bit more, but I was still just like, stop pushing her in the background. Like, let her handle Shaz.
Yeah, I was like, I semi-agree because then I think it also just changed a lot of people's opinion on Clint, and I was happy to see that he no longer, well, he was the background character for every Avengers movie, so he got to step up a little bit.
You mean Iron Man? You mean Ant-Man wasn't?
Well, yeah, Ant-Man was so background that we didn't see him in half the movies. We found out later for a musical.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with Breanna's take because the two Avengers that caught the most shit for just being background characters were Black Widow and Hawkeye. And in every debate, when they talk about the Avengers team and stuff, they would just dish them off as like they have no value and stuff. And as of late, that narrative's been changing because people got to see the emotional and the very realistic side of a regular human being who is a peak human who has amazing skill set, who is also able to hang and participate and save this world and stuff in their own perspective, rights and ways. So we saw that with Black Widow with the movie, and we saw it with Hawkeye, where before they're like, yeah, he can shoot a bow and arrow. We got Thor, he's the god. I mean, and there was a lot of that and stuff, and you couldn't really argue with this. I can't say go read the comic books and stuff. Like, there's so much more depth to it, but this show gave that, so that was really cool.
It did.
So,
Danny, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I'd say like the only other, just overall for the series, was I did like that Kate got to kind of go one-on-one with the Kingpin at the end. And, like, you know, they could have easily given that to Clint or maybe a tag team, but it was just her one-on-one, and she used her own smarts and using the different arrows that her and Clint had put together to pretty much incapacitate him for at least a while before Maya came in to finish the deal. But I actually want to say that I don't think Kingpin is dead, just because I know in the comics Maya also does shoot him point blank and he still survives. So I'm thinking Kingpin.
Nobody's ever really dead. Nobody's ever really dead. Except for Tony Stark. He's dead.
Maybe. I mean, he may have interjected himself into AI and he's living that way. So we'll see when we get Ironheart, maybe. So
did he somehow throw himself into another timeline?
We never know.
If someone can figure it out, it's Tony Stark.
Yep. So let me ask this question directly to you three. What do you think were, and I don't want to dwell in the negative, but what do you think is, if you had to pick the worst scene or the worst part of it, like something that just was confusing, you just didn't like, you wish it didn't exist, it just didn't work for you, what would you say in the Hawkeye series and stuff?
I wouldn't have based it during Christmas time.
Okay.
And that's such a minor thing. Like, I just feel like it wasn't made, like it wasn't relevant, and I just feel like it added a little bit of chaos that didn't need to be there, just because I don't know. It was just weird to me that it was happening during Christmas time. It literally could have happened during any time. And I feel like they only made it happen during Christmas time because of when it was released.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it's nitpicky, but
that's
the only thing I can pick.
Breanna, Danny.
I think if anything, I would take how Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is like the LARPers. But in the end, I ended up loving them. But like to have them actually part of the mission, like they all have their little earpieces and contacting with Hawkeye. Hawkeye is still an Avenger, and he's gonna be bringing in people off the street for help. Yeah, but that was the only thing. It was just getting nitpicky about it.
All right. I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think there's any big complaints. If I really had to pick something, like if you're really forcing me to pick something, and I can't even think of his name right now, but it's the mom's boyfriend. I feel like he didn't have enough payoff for the mystery that was around him, just to be a kind of a comedic figure at the end. And
yeah, I agree. I expected more from that character, and they really were kind of building him up to just. He had a small, tiny little sword fight, and there was no real. Yeah, I agree. They kind of dropped the ball on that character and stuff, and so. Hopefully, I hope we get to see him more. He's actually a really good character and stuff, and that's all we get to see him in the movies and stuff. But yeah, it didn't really pay off for the buildup that they did with him.
His character in the comics is Sword Master, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know it was Sword Master or Sword Man or something like that. But I did like, I mean, when you see the name Jack Duquesne, if you know the comics, then right away you knew who he was going to be. And you saw him with his sword collection. And so I did like that they gave him a sword fight at the end. So I don't know if he'll actually fully become Sword Master later. I don't know what kind of costume he'll have to cover that stash, but we'll see.
He is the equivalent. So Marvel has a pretty good reputation for kind of taking pop cultural things and adding it into their own realm, like they did with Shang-Chi, during the Kung Fu era and stuff. For those who don't know, that character in Hawkeye is kind of basically the Marvel version of Zorro. He is amazing with the still. The only person that could kind of parry with him on that level is Blade. So, but we will see Blade in the future. So,
which I mean, when you like that adds that extra element too, because we saw that spar with Kate, and she's like, "Why are you letting me win?" And it's like, yeah,
I'm trying to be your stepdad. Of course, I'm gonna let you win. It's like, I would do the same thing. I'm thinking like, yeah, that's a stepdad move. I would do that too. And then if she was talking smack like she was, then I would just like, all right, let me show you what I got. But so I'm gonna actually add this. I think the whole the Rolex watch, the Clint Barton's with Laura Barton thing, that dynamic, it didn't really pay off that she. I mean, we kind of can put things together. Know she was a SHIELD agent. We can also probably speculate that she is the character Mockingbird, but that's it. It didn't really pay off to the way that was built up and stuff. I thought it would be a little bit bigger of a payoff. We would get a little bit more reveal of that mystery and stuff, but we didn't. And that's the piece that I didn't like. It really, if you erase that watch, throughout the entire episodes, it wouldn't have taken away from the show at all. No. So therefore, it was just a non-filler.
Yeah, and honestly, like I was really hoping for more to that. I was hoping for more, and I wanted it to be revealed that she was Mockingbird, and I wanted her connections to be like, because that would have got me more excited for more to come. I mean, I'm excited for more to come, but I mean that would have pulled me in more.
So this next
in my weirdness,
not at all. This next segment may be controversial for some of you guys, but it's not for me. But we got the end credit scene of Rogers the musical, and I hate musicals. I'm sorry, I try. My favorite musical still till this day is Little Shop of Horrors, which Rick Moranis, dude. He's king to me, but I hated that musical. I felt like Clint, like watching it, like, really? and Ant-Man, we know you are Luis talked and gave Lin-Manuel the idea to make this musical. But your guys' take on the end credit of the Rogers musical?
I thought there was going to be more to it instead of just the song. Like, I was ready to see like Sam and Bucky like sitting there watching it or something, or Kate or Yelena even. Like, I thought like it was going to, turn the camera and there was going to be someone there, and I was like, oh no, they're just giving us music. Which is, I guess, fine. But I just want more.
Overall, I enjoyed it. Marvel end credit scenes aren't always the big stingers or the leading to the next show or movie. We got that one in Ant-Man and the Wasp where it's just the ant playing the drums. We got the one in Spider-Man Homecoming with Captain America saying like, how many more of these are we doing? Patience. And I enjoy those fun ones in the end. So it was fine for me. Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
I got nothing else.
And so, and I know people who love musicals, and they actually liked it. I'm just not a musical person. Yeah. So
it was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
Okay. No. All right. Well, we good on Hawkeye. We can close that out and stuff. Let's move on to Spider-Man: No Way Home. Did everyone here see this first of all before we start talking?
Yeah.
Annie,
yeah.
You saw, yep. Okay. So I just want to say this is a spoiler. It's been out for a couple weeks now. Still number one in the box office and stuff. It crossed the $1 billion threshold, which we knew it would. It's been anticipated. Sam loved it. She knows she did, and I think she has a new crush on Tom Holland. But it was everything I was anticipating it to be, and a little bit more. A little bit more. So
I was anticipating it could be too.
So
blame everything on Spider-Man.
Oh, Jonah Jameson. I'm gonna start calling Sam here.
Well, no, here's the thing. Like, honestly, the reason that Spider-Man does irritate me when he does is because he's immature, and so his immaturity caused a hell of a lot of issues, did it not? Because he was immature and he was indecisive, so he caused chaos.
He acted like a high school boy, and
So that's why high school boys shouldn't be superheroes. They should be in high school.
What?
That's my Spider-Man issue.
Well,
tell the spider that. Tell the spider that bit him. Like, hey, you bit someone too young. Could you go get someone else?
Yeah.
Well, then you just don't become a superhero. You just sit down until you're old enough, Spider-Man. Go to detention. You've got to mature before you can use your powers.
So are you telling me, Sam, if you got bit by a radioactive spider in high school and you had developed all of these amazing powers, you would just sit on them until you became a little bit more mature or a young adult?
That's never going to happen for me. I'm never going to be a young adult. I'm never going to be mature. No, I would probably be as stupid as Spider-Man too, but it doesn't mean that I don't find him irritating.
I think we don't have enough time to deep dive, but I think there's some trauma in this hate relationship she has with Spider-Man.
Okay, but look at how mature Tobey Maguire was in this movie.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
I liked that. He was good Spider-Man there.
With the back problems and
I found it very relatable.
Okay.
He was like the Peter B. Parker in the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, he was the sugar daddy Parker. He can take care of you and stuff. So
he would make me soup if I was sick.
And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the nurturing Spider-Man versus the young, just I can do anything, going after everything, saving the world, neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, because that Spider-Man's impulsive.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not gonna. This isn't pick on Sam Hour, but I think there's more to this and stuff.
Can I ask which superhero hasn't been impulsive?
Actually, yeah. There isn't a cool, calm, collective superhero that's out there.
I can't say anything because Neymar is impulsive as hell.
Yeah. Mr. Anklet Wings and stuff. Yes.
He's
he
like,
as well.
Neymar is all over here like, oh no, you've destroyed my home. Let me destroy the entire planet. After one quick glance. Okay. I digress. Continue.
All right. So we got so yeah, oh my god, I'm sorry. So yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home. We got
No Way Home.
No Way Home. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Oh wow. So
Something
No Way
about
Home. Yeah, something about home. We got the anticipated rumor version of, we got all three of the Spider-Mans, and the premise of this was the fact that Spider-Man got painted out to be a villain. Like before Mysterio died, which I don't think he died, but they say he died and stuff. He called out, he blamed everything that happened over the pond on Spider-Man, and they used Stark Tech, so it was easier to tie Peter Parker to that, and it caused a whole bunch of strife for him. MJ, his oh my god, why am I'm what's
Ned.
his buddy's name? Ned. Thank you, Ned. Just by association and stuff. And so it was really messy. They couldn't go to college. I mean, MIT, Tony's alma mater, rejected them out of hand and stuff. Like, so he ended up going to Doctor Strange, which I love the fact that they answered the ultimate question, because Doctor Strange was never really the Sorcerer Supreme. He still is not the Sorcerer Supreme. Wong is a Sorcerer Supreme just by default. And they explained that so beautifully, because I was like, how are they going to actually pull this off? And they did. Doctor Strange disappeared in the snapping. Therefore, by default, that 5-year term, Wong became the Sorcerer Supreme and stuff, because there's no one else left. So I love that they kind of they just answered that within a matter of seconds and stuff. But yeah, so Peter Parker went to Doctor Strange to say, hey, I really would like if you can make everyone forget that I am Spider-Man. And Doctor Strange, being the arrogant person that he is, said, yeah, I can do that. I can give it a try. Even though Wong said don't, it's a dangerous spell. For those who know Doctor Strange, he is kind of an arrogant, very sure of himself. That's why he was perfectly cast as the Sorcerer Supreme, because of who he is. I mean, he was a top doctor, was a neurosurgeon in this field and everything else. Because of the arrogance, he's very sure of himself. So when it was almost like a challenge to be accepted, and he accepted it. And Peter Parker doing what Sam so elegantly stated, that he was being immature and not being a child, was messing up the spell as Doctor Strange was casting it, and that interaction ended up breaking open this rift in the multiverse, which started dumping in villains that know Peter Parker as Spider-Man. And then that's kind of the whole premise of that, was we started seeing multiversal villains from different Spider-Man timelines and stuff, pouring into this current version of the multiverse and stuff. And it was, I liked it. I loved it. I want to kind of take a moment and pause and not talk so much, and pass this over to you guys to kind of talk about this as well too. So
I was gonna say, at this point of the movie, I definitely understand where Sam's coming from, because I was like, wow, did Spider-Man really just ruin all of this, just caused all of this? And then, like Doctor Strange,
he does redeem himself, though.
He does. There's so much that comes after this that, helps. But this specific moment, you're like, oh my god, what is happening? Why? And then even Doctor Strange is like, you could have just talked to them. And he's like, oh, I could do that. This is definitely, I feel definitely.
Breanna was sitting in the theater for a second, like, man, maybe Sam's been right all this time.
At this point, I was like, oh, I get it now.
But he did redeem himself. Like, I did love how, he had his humanitarian pants on and he was like, we can help them. And he wasn't just about sending them back to be destroyed.
That wasn't really his idea. That was Aunt May.
Yeah, it was Aunt May. It was, but that's she's the one who raised him, and like his heart comes from her.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, Danny, take as far on.
Well, I was gonna say, couldn't he have just asked for people to forget Mysterio rather than to forget him, that he's Spider-Man? If you forget Mysterio, you kind of take out all of this, but you can poke holes in pretty much any of these big superhero movies. But that and basically, I also thought if it's pulling in people from other people or villains from other universes that know Peter Parker is Spider-Man, that means it's pretty much universal that Spider-Man is bad at this whole secret identity thing.
Yes, 100% yes. Hit the nail on the head. He is not very good at keeping. He needs to take lessons and tips from. Well, I want to say Clark Kent, Superman, because the glasses. Apparently, you can't tell Superman is Superman with those magical glasses and stuff. Like and they do.
Or when he's on a farm.
Or when he's on the farm. So yeah, he could have took some tips from some expert covert superheroes and stuff. But apparently, in all the multiverses, Spider-Man Peter Parker is very bad at keeping the secret that he is actually Spider-Man, and it's at the detriment of his loved ones. It kind of really is and stuff. From the comic book, which they loosely base this on, is it One Last Day?
One More Day.
One More Day. He learns the lesson of sacrificing everything, of people that is close to him knowing both his identities and stuff. And even though that had Mephisto in it, this is Doctor Strange who's actually granting this wish and stuff. It really shows that Peter Parker, like you said, he's not good at keeping his identity secret and stuff.
Just another thing he's bad at.
That does get fixed though, so, and I hate the fact that it got fixed in the way it did. So, but it needed to happen. And we'll talk about that here in a second, the scene with him and MJ in the coffee shop. But I do have to say I love the introduction scene of the villains and stuff, where he's on the bridge and you see Dr. Octavius, which oh my God. Like I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like it's the same actor, same character, same everything and stuff. Like and he says, hello, Peter. And while Spider-Man has his suit on and then he realizes once Spider-Man nanotech kind of, takes his mask off. He's like, you're not Peter and stuff. Also the fact, how awesome is Stark Tech? So
yes.
His nanobites, I love that
scene.
Hijacked his, Dr. Octavius' arms and stuff, and which should have been done. That was actually science that was being done because he attached. I mean, he controls those arms, through his cerebral little mechanism and stuff. And nanotech is kind of based on the same thing. That's why you can see Iron Man. You saw Tony Stark kind of transformed into Iron Man at will, because that's how the nanobots from the Stark technology was programmed that way. Same with the spider suit. So the fact that they were able to hijack that and then feed that into Peter Parker so he can actually take that, take over the arms was awesome. Loved it. That was actually pretty cool to see. See here. So the only thing I had issue with, but I thought it was kind of cool, was Electro. They never really explained why Electro looks different. I like it though, because I hated the first Electro. Didn't like the blue Electro and stuff. This one is, I have to say, an updated more comic book accurate version than what we got from the it was the Sam Raimi's version. So I'm glad he got to redo that and stuff. I would love to have them explain it. I mean, it just like, wow, you're kind of this cool little, and they even kind of joke about it and stuff. Like, you got to upgrade somehow, by being sucked into this world. It's like, yeah, we're gonna make you the cool Jamie Foxx or cool Electro and stuff. So, but yeah, they never explained it, and we just, it's just one of those things we just have to accept. I have to accept and stuff. So
I have to be completely honest about something. You're probably going to think I'm a horrible person for this, more than you guys already do. But for me, the ending when he does like walk away and doesn't tell them who he is, that redeemed Spider-Man for me.
Oh.
Because it was like, maybe he's not such a selfish little jerk after all. But no, like he matured and he realized that, yeah, well, people kind of are better off without the hero in their lives. And Tony Stark and why can't I think of his name?
Parker?
No. Oh my gosh.
Happy Hogan. Doctor Strange.
Dr. Strange. Holy cow. I just had like a brain fart. Okay, so Dr. Strange told him you can't have both. You can't be the hero and the kid. And like having him acknowledge that at the end and do the selfless thing, which was let everybody else enjoy their lives without the chaos that he brings, kind of redeemed him for me.
Yeah, but oh, man, him and Zendaya, they were a great couple.
You'll get over it.
Yeah, I guess I will.
I don't know if it's fully the end for them, but I do agree with Sam. I think it was a good ending in the way it happened. A lot of growth.
I agree. I don't disagree. I just want to nitpick at that. Like, man, dude, you're walking away from the girl, and yeah. But it is what it is. So I'm going to say this. So let's talk about.
That's how you know he really loves the girl.
True. No, that's true. He's willing to protect her life. That's what that decision was made. That's what he did. He chose, like, I love you so much. I'm going to keep myself away from you to protect you and protect her, so you can have a happy life and stuff. So I totally get it, and it's fitting for what happened and stuff. We'll talk about your favorite and the not so favorite scenes and stuff, because for my favorite, and I'll go first. The 3 Spider-Man, doing the webcasting scene, that was, oh my God, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, like, coming in, swinging on their webs. That whole scene, that I would have never in a million years figured that they could make that work, and they did, and they did it great. I thought they did a good job meshing all of the Spider-Mans and the Sony properties together and they're creating their own kind of little bit pocket universes and stuff. So I love that they tied in MCU with the Sony verse, and it was great. So I absolutely love that. Anyone else?
I absolutely agree with that one, and I think I'd have to add the just the scene where they're in the high school working on all of the cures. Well, I thought it was funny because at the beginning, Tom Holland Spider-Man was using Stark Tech to make all of these, and then they all go into high school, and I was like, oh, they could have done this with the stuff that's in a high school chemistry lab. That's cool, because I'm pretty sure my high school chemistry lab had like 5 things in it, but and then you just kind of got a lot of the personalities and them really interacting with each other, which I liked.
Absolutely. I mean, you got the older brother, the middle brother, who was kind of, Andrew, I tell you what, I want to see an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man after this. I think there's more we can add to that and stuff. Like, it really, I was really kind of resold, and I wasn't a big Andrew Garfield. In fact, when we did the whole little who's your favorite Spider-Man, he wasn't mine. I had Tobey Maguire was a better Peter Parker, and then Tom Holland Spider-Man was a good Spider-Man. Andrew just didn't fit. But after watching this movie, I'm ready for a Andrew, another universe, movie and stuff. So I know, Danny, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to go into my favorite part being when they kind of start the fight together, the three Spider-Mans, and they kind of admit, like, we suck at this because, like, none of them, well, especially the other two who've only been solo acts for their whole superhero careers. And then Tom Holland comes over and says, I was with the Avengers, and say, what is that? Is that a band or something? What is that? That is great. What is that? But it also kind of showing a more of that maturity and more of that growth. Him being the youngest one, but still being the only one that's actually worked with a team and being able to apply that in this situation. I thought that was really good.
Yep.
And then also, all of them just kind of showing off their different, not weaknesses and weaknesses and strength throughout, and like also personal stuff they're dealing with, like how Andrew was saying how he didn't have time for Peter Parker stuff, but we all know what happened with him and his Emma Stone, what's her name? Gwen Stacy,
yeah.
Yes. But then getting the little pep talk from Toby saying, you are amazing. And and then saying that he's lame because he hasn't fought an alien. And like you said, like I want to see him fight an alien. Hopefully he fights Venom or someone. Yeah.
Heck yeah. And I get it too. Gwen Stacy, I mean, she was drop dead gorgeous. That was okay. That was a horrible joke.
Anyways, David.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, like just seeing the three of them interact together was a dream come true. Even for someone who thinks Spider-Man's annoying. But when Ned like first like casted them, I died.
Yes.
Died.
Yes.
Like I was like, go Ned, go. And then he's like telling his like grandma or whatever she is. He's like, look, I do have powers. Loved it.
Is that a sling ring there, Danny?
Yeah, I was like, do you?
So for our audience,
Yes.
Danny's rocking a sling ring from. Oh, that is awesome. Are you practicing with the magic and stuff of the?
I think mine's
sacred
broken
arts?
because nothing's happened. I tried to go to McDonald's, which is like down the street from me, and nothing.
Nothing happened.
No.
So open up portals. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Ned's gonna have a bigger role and stuff, and I think the fact that Ned and Peter Parker no longer knows each other makes it easier for Ned to transition into, in my opinion,
Peter
the
Parker.
Hobgoblin. So it's just, maybe they battle over MJ and stuff in the future, a movie or something. So
I can see like I don't know why, but I could see Wong taking him under his wing too.
Mhm.
Like I would love to see that. It's probably not going to happen, but ideally that's what I would like to see.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think Ned is going to come to a point where I don't think Ned actually ever wanted to play second fiddle to anything. And he was okay doing it with Spider-Man because that's Spider-Man. I mean, what else can you do? I can be your Goose, your Maverick and stuff. But now that he doesn't know Peter Parker and not really associated with Spider-Man, he could branch out and do his own thing. And I think we're going to see Ned kind of shine a little bit here. So I hope Wong takes him under his wing. But
That would be cool.
Something's going to go awry.
Can anybody else hear the name Goose without thinking of a Flurkin? Because I can't. Like that's all I think of when I hear Goose.
Yeah, Captain Marvel kind of reclaimed that whole little Top Gun little thing. So
Yeah.
So that brings me to I actually want to talk about things I didn't really like or didn't really care for. And while it's not even a plot thing. So out of all the villains and stuff that they had, Sandman, he served no purpose. Like literally, like you could erase him from and I hate saying it. The actor is amazing and everything, but it was once again was an underutilized villain that didn't really add anything. You could just erase him or blown him away, and it wouldn't have changed the dynamic of the movie at all. And to be fair, Green Goblin and Doc Ock, those two were the premier villains. And I don't know if it's just the actors who are playing them are top tier. And I'm not going to take away from Jamie Foxx. I'm not bashing his character or anything, or the guy. God, what's the alligator guy? I can't remember. But those two, especially the Green Goblin. I mean, Green Goblin, this was the best. I mean, it was. I actually like this Green Goblin better than the one with when Tobey Maguire fought. They fought and stuff. So, but the acting was amazing for them. They were actual, really kind of in this. They sold these roles, but Sandman just was. It was just a way. It wasn't necessary to bring him. I get why. You have to have villains from all the different Spider-Verses and stuff to kind of show up. And I'm thankful that we didn't get Rhino. So happy about that, because that was just a mess. So, but yeah, that's the part I didn't really like and stuff. I didn't think Sandman was necessary.
For a second, I thought sorry, Danny. I thought David said I didn't think Sam was necessary instead of Sandman. And I was like, well, that's friggin'
You're
rude.
always necessary. I would never. Okay. I would never do this, Sam. You're always
Danny.
No, I mean, I was just saying, like, I just think all they were doing was just trying to get at least one villain from each movie that had come out prior to this. And then I thought they were going to go full Sinister Six, but then, they only have 5 of them. But, I think it was still cool that at least they still got Thomas Hayden Church to come back. Because if they would have gotten a whole different actor, I would have said, you know what, then just don't include this guy at all.
Yeah, just delete him.
But at least they brought that back for nostalgia's sake, at least.
Yep. No, I get it. And the other scene I like was the cameo. We got Charlie Cox. Again, another Daredevil, the Daredevil himself and stuff. The best character and stuff. I think on the Netflix series and stuff was Charlie Cox as a Daredevil. So I love the fact that the scene where he's in Aunt May's apartment talking to Peter Parker and them about their options and stuff. And then I was about to say it's the tracksuits guys, because I'm used to the tracksuit guys throwing stuff through windows, but it wasn't. It was just a random person who threw a brick through the window. And I love the scene where it shows Spider-Man, because his senses went off and he went to go catch it. But, Daredevil's quicker and he, snatched out of the air. It's like, hey, you need a really good lawyer. I'm a really good lawyer, as he takes the brick out of the air. So that was really cool. So, but it would have been kind of cool to see him don his outfit in there. But I understand it's a Spider-Man movie. The cameo was a nice little whet your appetite and stuff to just say, hey, we got some characters we're bringing back and stuff from different franchises and stuff. Waiting for the X-Men though. I'm waiting for the X-Men cameo, but this will do. We got some Netflix cameos. So.
Yeah, there was an audible gasp in my theater when that happened, and like that's near the beginning of the movie, and you're already dropping someone for like the really diehard Marvel fans.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was applause when
movies up until then. You're not going to know, but yeah, I was clapping definitely when he came up on screen, and it was small, but hopefully we see him down the line, maybe She-Hulk or one of the other series.
Yes. Oh, I'd love to see him do battle against She-Hulk in the courtroom and stuff. That would be kind of cool to see. So, but I think they both are defense attorneys, right? Is She-Hulk? Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, I think she is. So, but we absolutely may see them in that. I can't wait. I'm hyped for She-Hulk, so I can't wait to see that. So, anyone else has any takes on Spider-Man before we move on to some news here?
I don't think so.
Let's go on over to the Marvel news.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce the new segment called Marvel Tribe News. No, I'm joking. I'm just testing stuff out. Let's talk about Black Panther 2. So Black Panther 2, everyone's anticipating that movie to come out. It comes out in 11 months. Hopefully there's no pandemic by then, but who knows. But they were scheduled to actually pick up production and stuff this weekend, and rumor has it so Letitia Wright was not in Atlanta, that's where they're kind of shooting some of the scenes and stuff there. It could be for a variety of different reasons. We don't really know. We know that she got hurt on set, doing some of the doing some of the stunts and stuff there, and so she went back home. She's from over the pond in Europe, and so that's kind of the last we heard. Now, with that said, we're kind of in the height of a bigger spread of the coronavirus, and flights are being canceled and everything else. So it could be anything. It could be that it's hard to get people across the pond over here to do production. Maybe it'll be fine next week and stuff. But right now, there is nothing. They're still kind of still and they're stalled. And we only have 11 months.
They have recorded though. They have recorded everything that they can without her, I believe.
Have they? Okay.
I believe that they have.
That would be good. That would be good. So I know that
last I heard.
Well, I know they're waiting for her to come to do some more shoots and stuff. So I don't know if these are reshoots or they're just kind of cleaning up the VFXs and stuff.
I do know that they've recorded as much as they can without her.
Okay, well that's good. That is absolutely good, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see. We're all kind of wondering how they're gonna honor Chadwick's role, what they're gonna do with that, what that looks like and stuff. So that's kind of that. It's the biggest question mark there is because everyone's tight-lipped. We last we heard they're not going to recast them, but that was in right. We heard that news right after Chadwick passed and. Everyone's emotions was high and everything else, and not saying that whether they do or they don't. I personally would like them to recast that role. I think it would still pay homage and honor to Chadwick Boseman, who played the heck out of T'Challa, but we don't know what they're going to do. So we're waiting to see. We're waiting to see a little bit more about the storyline. So right now it's stalled. So anyone has any other feedback on that?
Yeah, I would love to know what character Tenoch Huerta is playing. Okay, I'm not going to say it. Okay, I'll let everybody do their own research. Just throwing it out there.
There's a rumor that Neymar might make an appearance here, and they may have cast that character. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan. I would love to see the city of Atlantis shine in the MCU and stuff. So I'm not throwing hate at Neymar and stuff. I really hope, this is my deep down hope, that they do not give him the ankle wings. They don't need it. Please don't. I know they do. They're pretty good about looking at the comic and like, yeah, this is a little like with Hawkeye. They're like, we're not going to put him in the purple with the hawk thing. And they've done some tweaks and updated people's suits and stuff, whether it's Thor or what have you. So please don't give us Namor in the green thong and the ankle wings. Yeah. Even if it was Jason Momoa, just don't do it. Just don't. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
What if he's got like Nikes with wings on them?
Just do it. So there was a joke about a shoe, and I don't know if this dates me because you guys are millennials, right? I'm Gen X, so. You guys are pretty young, but back in my day, we had these really off-putting brands called Pro Wings, and they were the Kmart, Walmart special shoes and stuff. We used to call this thing called getting capped on or bagged on. It's back when bullying was a thing and stuff, so you get made fun of if you're rocking Pro Wings. And so I heard a lot of like, yeah, what if he had some Pro Wing shoes? You brought back the retros and stuff. I'm like, no, please, just no to any wings.
Put some Fat Farm shoes on him with wings.
No wings. Don't go. He can fly. And you don't need to explain why he flies. Just leave it at that. You'll need that.
Right. True. Nobody has Superman how he flies.
Yeah. They don't talk about the magical underwear with the wings in there for Superman, so we don't need to talk about the anklets. So maybe give him a tattoo, like a little tramp stamp on the ankle and stuff, and then call it good. Like he got drunk and he went up to the surface and got wings tattooed on his ankle, and that was it.
Maybe he got pixie dusted by Tinkerbell.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. Maybe.
I'm just goofing.
I know you love Neymar, and you can't wait to see him on the big screen. And I don't doubt that we may either get a cameo or he may be part of the story. I don't think he's gonna be a big part of the storyline or anything, but they will talk about Atlantis. I'm willing to bet money on that. We will get something that reference the people under the sea. So.
After all these years, I mean, people have been talking about Namor since like there was a scene in Iron Man 2 where Nick Fury has those dots on his map, and one of them's in the middle
in the ocean.
Of the ocean, and people say Neymar. And then in Endgame, McCoy is talking about the earthquakes underwater, and people are saying Neymar, and then nothing. And even in Avengers Campus over there, in the Guardians of the Galaxy, in the collector's collection, there's an Atlantean tablet in there, so they keep throwing these little things that you might, and so hopefully Sam finally gets her Neymar.
Here, I'm rooting for you, Sam. Neymar.
But I mean, they can do a lot with the Fantastic Four and Neymar.
If it brings in the Fantastic Four, I'm with it no matter what. I don't care who they bring on board and stuff. So
they can bring someone's got to entertain Sue Storm.
They can bring Santa Claus in for all I care. For those who don't know, Santa Claus is actually a Marvel character. So just putting that out there. He's not canon though, but that's okay. I don't care. You can bring any character that if it introduces us to the Fantastic Four or X-Men, I'm for it. So
right, and I mean he is the first mutant.
Yes, he is. He is technically the first mutant. So
and then just speaking of the Fantastic Four, I had heard that like someone asked Tom Holland about the like Avengers Tower within the MCU, and like we even get it in Hawkeye how he says it was sold, and I thought we were gonna get who bought it later on, because especially in Loki, we do get it says Kang, which is an alias for Kang the Conqueror. So I thought we might get something along the lines. So I thought like maybe it turns into the Baxter Building.
It would be awesome.
So I could see that happening.
Yep, same. And it would be just that kind of innocuous. We will see that like in a little glimpse of one of these feature shows and our movies and stuff, and then it would be like, there it is, the payoff. So that's Black. Oh, I was like, how do we get on Namor? We're talking about Black Panther, but yeah, okay, that's how. So there's that. So we're we'll see what's going on with that. And then in other news, Morbius got pushed back again. So it was scheduled to be released this month on the 28th. And it got pushed back to April 1st. I know why. I mean, obviously it's again, the pandemic kind of thing is starting to gin up. More and more people are coming down with COVID, and a few schools are starting to go online, and things are happening. And I just want to say thank you to all your first responders, including all the nurses out there who do amazing work, like Breanna. She's our resident nurse here and stuff. I work in the health field as well, and but not as like Breanna does. God, they need to pay. Hopefully they're paying you $1 million a year contract, because you're having to deal with this for multi-years. So again, teachers and nurses are underappreciated, and definitely if you see one, thank them and buy them a Disney Mickey Mouse ears or something. So, but anyway, so Morbius got pushed back for the 8th time. I'm not sure how many times now. It is scheduled to come out, for those who don't know, on the 4th of July in 2020. So 2 years ago. And then they got, pushed back to March of 21, and then October and January. And then now we're here in April. So I'm at the point where I'm starting to not care about Morbius anymore. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm like, I mean, I want to see it, but if I don't see it, it's not going to ruin my Marvel experience. So,
yeah, I was like, I think I go through flows where I just kind of forget about it. I was like, oh yeah, there is that movie. Every time I finally see like a new trailer or like a trailer for it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that one's gonna come out still. Like Jared Leto, yes,
eventually.
I think he just turned 50. He might be 60 time it actually comes out, but it's all right. He doesn't age. He and Paul Rudd are fine. Like they will look the same age.
She means fine in a different kind of way.
Lots of fines.
Fine like salt. Yep.
Yeah, they make her thirsty.
The only reason I was just kind of really bummed about this, because I usually look at the calendar for the year and I kind of pick out those movies that I want to see. And Morbius was supposed to be like this month. So I was like, this is the first time in the theater for this month. And then it gets pushed back. And, it's just, it sucks for that. But I mean, I'm going to see it when it comes out, whenever it does.
Are they saying August now? Are we looking at August now?
April 1st.
April.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming out on
April Fools. Just kidding.
April Fool's Day. Which was actually perfect because I have a sneaking suspicion they're gonna say April Fools. We're pushing it back for the summer release and stuff. And don't get me wrong. Sony is living it high off of Spider-Man right now. So they, there's a lot that goes into this and stuff. The fact that Spider-Man crossed that $1 billion and they're still enjoying the success, maybe it actually serves Spider-Man better for them to kind of push it back a little bit, because people may go in like, oh, there's nothing coming out in January. I'll go see Spider-Man maybe twice or for the first time and stuff. So that does help their other box office success. It just sucks because you've been waiting for this movie since 2020, and it just when you're gonna release it, So, but and don't get me wrong, I love Morbius. I like the interaction because that's Blade and everything. I mean, it really kind of brings about the dark side of the Marvel universe and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that part, but I'm at this point where I'm just tired of the pandemic. Maybe I'm just pandemic fatigue. That's what it is. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
So release it straight to give it to Disney Plus. I know Sony won't do that, and Disney probably won't never put Morbius on their platform. Even though they're putting Spider-Man on their platforms, for those who don't know and stuff, even that's a Sony property and stuff. They made an agreement, so in the future you'll see all the Spider-Mans and stuff. Long as that relationship is still solid with Sony and Disney and stuff. So, but yeah, that's my take on Morbius. Anyone else?
No.
So. All right, and then we were going to watch a trailer for Doctor Strange, but I don't have it queued up because my internet is being weird. So
we're already over the hour thing, and we've already watched it on the Tribe. So do you guys just want to give what we're looking forward to with it?
Sure.
Because we've all seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
A couple times.
All right. So Sam, you want to start us off?
I cannot wait to see the role that Wanda plays because I'm still undecided. I'm still undecided on whether she's going to be good or bad. And I am undecided on who the villain is going to be. Okay. So I have a lot to look forward to. I am bursting at the seams waiting for it. Okay. Breanna?
Yeah, I think I've said this multiple times. This is one of my most anticipated movies for a long time. And every time it gets pushed back and moved, I'm completely devastated. So this one better stay put. I am ready for this movie. I'm excited for the potential of Loki and Sylvie. I'm excited for just all of these characters together. I'm excited to see what's really going to happen with the multiverse, where they're going to start and take this, because we keep seeing, I guess, quote unquote, the cracks. And so it's just leading to all this anticipation coming from this movie. And I am ready.
Danny?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is my most anticipated movie of the year. I mean, and so quick after that event that was Spider-Man No Way Home. But, and all the rumors were true for that one. I mean, there was speculation for a long time about Tobey and Andrew and even a little bit of Daredevil. So, and now there's all these rumors coming out about Multiverse of Madness, whether it's going to have, again, with the Mephisto stuff, whether it's going to be the villain Nightmare, or whether it's just Wanda that's the villain. And the rumors of all the cameos that could happen, maybe the introduction of the Illuminati. So there's a lot. If that all happens, if all the rumors are true, it's going to be really fun to watch, and it gets me really excited.
So I'll close out with saying I ditto all your guys' sentiments. I think this is going to be the blockbuster movie for me. It's the one I'm most anticipating. I can't wait for this to hit theaters. Honestly, I would hazmat suit up for this movie. I can't wait. And I agree that the rumor mill is coming back to where we may see Mephisto or Nightmare. We'll probably see Nightmare, Schumer Gorath. We see America Chavez in some of the scenes. I can't wait. The interaction with him and Wanda was telling. It was like a short little 3-second interaction that kind of explained like Doctor Strange ain't chasing Wanda and stuff. He's trying to recruit her to help him and stuff to go after a bigger threat and stuff. We see the evil Doctor Strange. I can't tell you how much I love the fact that we saw an animated character in live action. Point blank, I was like, okay, here we go. We saw the evil Doctor Strange from the What If series and stuff kind of, pop up with his, what's that hair for men, the do or jet black and stuff like that, because he just for men. That also may be a Gen X thing. I don't know.
I was gonna say Rogaine.
But with the jet black just for men hairdo and stuff, and the bags under his eyes, I'm like, yep. There's the evil Doctor Strange. So I'm so hyped for this. I can't wait to go see it. This is the one that I know we had Spider-Man, and that was really, really great, and it delivered. But this is the one that I'm like a kid in a candy store. Can't wait for it to happen. So yeah. So in closing, I think we're all kind of hyped. We can't wait to see this. This is going to be another blockbuster. I just feel it. It's not going to disappoint, and I can't wait to see. We're going to get some cool little payoffs and stuff, and it really going to just blow things up for the multiverse and everything else. So yeah, that's it. God,
that's our show.
We're at an hour and 10 minutes and stuff, and Danny, dude, thank you so much for coming on our show, and we will absolutely, beg you to come back on again to talk. Yes, to talk more. We're not above begging. That's the thing you'll find with us.
Danny, can you tell? Sorry, I was going to ask Danny to tell everybody where we can find him.
Yep. Thank you all so much for having me, and that's what I wait for. I wait for the begging to start, and then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll come. But it was great being with y'all. Love talking Marvel. And you can find me on Instagram at Danny Fandoms.
Right on. Well, I just want to say thanks to my amazing co-hosts. I wouldn't do the show actually if they weren't here. They don't know that, so I'm not gonna. Well, I just told everyone this. But Sam and Breanna, thank you so much. I absolutely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you. I wish we got our Nick Fury back, but he just came back in town, so we'll get Shawn back on here as well too and stuff to kind of round out the gang here. But I just want to just say, from the Blurred Hulk and the original cast crew, Sam and Breanna, thank you for listening to the Marvel Tribe. And I don't know how else to end this show, so I'm gonna let.
We will see you next time.
Yep.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.